SF-68. Stories which plunge vividly into other worlds, other dimensions, other times. SF-68. SF-68 presents Wanted in Surgery by Harlan Ellison, adapted for radio and produced by Michael McKay. Wanted in Surgery. In the year 2088 AD, the government passed a law. The new Hippocratic law, which stated, all ministrations shall henceforth be confined to government-sponsored hospitals. Emergency cases necessitating attendance outside said institutions shall be handled only, repeat, only, by registered physician mechanicals issuing from registered hospital pools. Any irregularities or deviations from this procedure shall be handled as cases outside the law, and illegal attendance by non-mechanical physicians shall be severely punishable by cancellation of practicing licenses and or fine and imprisonment. Doctors will be licensed before the advent of the Finex or robot doctors were maintained at slashed salaries. They were reduced to assistants, interns. There was dissatisfaction. In 2091, Kolbenschlag, the greatest brain surgeon of them all, died from acute alcoholism and a broken heart. But the small legion of men who still walked the antiseptic corridors of the hospitals, many could not adjust. Men like Stuart Bergman, M.D. This is his story. Stuart, Korbenschlag's dead. I'm sorry, Stu. Sorry. He made page 118. 5 lines. They said he was a pre-Finex surgeon of some skill. Korbenschlag. I was going to come in earlier, but I didn't feel like watching the operation. Korbenschlag. Dead. Poor old man. Poor old man. And today it would have to be a brain-up. Or one day it should be a mere goiter job, or with a plant stripping with no. Now, today it's got to be a brain job with the Finex 30 telescoping arms slashing into the patient. All right, look now, down there in the theater, will you? Look at them. I spent 10 years of my life trained to be a physician, and now I sit watching faithless books of metal. Do those 10 years better than I could in 100 years. All right, let's go. We needn't wait till the end of it. Kolbenschlag's dead. They killed him. Those things down there, those lumps of tin throwing through a man's skull. All right, Stu, there's nothing. You can't do anything about it. Nothing but you. Dead. He's right down there. Those metal things ripping into my face. Stuart. Merciful heavens. Where's the way? Where? Stuart, for pity's sake, listen. You'll have Perkins in here in a minute. And it's dirty. All right, take it to my office. I'll be right there. The operating theater is my home. It's been taken over by monsters. It's all the prescription. There's always someone who gets squeamish at the sight of a well-performed operation. When out drugs like that and you'll lose your license. They'll bar you from practicing. Kelvin says no. Every time I see one of those things picking around inside one of my patients, I get sick to my stomach. What do you mean, bar me from practicing? Find out the practicing I do now. Well, you, for that matter, keep your voice down. Bastard, you. Look, man, you have no logical scientific reason for hating the Finex. Science doesn't come into it, Murray. This is from the gut, not the brain. Look, the robots are infallible. They're safer, and they can do a job quicker and with less mess than even a Kolbenschlag. But don't you see? I'll get another drink. Come on. This Kolbenschlag, even with those very perfect glasses of his, was human. It wasn't like having a piece of food pipe rummaging around inside a patient's brain. Oh, no. Listen to it. Murray, what have we come to? Machines here in this canteen. They mix 150 drinks perfectly in minutes. And that noise they call music. Machines brush our teeth, lull us to sleep, and operate perfectly on human beings. Well, there must be something they can't do. There must be. Otherwise we're doomed, all of us. And we're doctors. Grateful for any small bone that's thrown our way once a fortnight, allowed to perform one single simple operation a fortnight. With those chunks of tin for assistance, but they're really overseers. It's degrading. I took an oath 1,000,000 years ago. Now,
getting a bit noisy, aren't you, Dr. Bergman?
I was just airing a few views, Dr. Calkins. That's all I...
Rather nasty views, I must say. Might be construed as dissatisfaction with the way I'm running things here at Memorial. You wouldn't want anyone to think that, would you, Doctor?
Oh, no, I didn't at all. I just thought that if we physicians had a few more operations, a few more difficult...
Don't you think the Finex are quite capable of handling any such, Dr. Bergman?
Just as I'm a doctor, not doing that enough.
The Finex have a finer record than any human physician.
Yes, they haven't been fully tested.
If you want to remain on the payroll of this hospital, Dr. Bergman, even as an assistant, you'd better tone down and watch yourself. We have our eyes on you.
But
I think that's enough, Bergman. That is all. Thank you.
Are they going? Oh, thanks for having a drink with me, Murray. Stuart, don't forget it. Why am I suffering? Why is my once full life empty and framed by worthlessness? Why am I afraid? Because the Finex have taken over. Because the Finex have taken over. Well, they've got to be stopped. They must be discredited. How?
3 days later, the answer came to Bergman as horribly as he might have wished. It came in the form of a practical demonstration, and he was never to forget it. He assisted a Finex on his scheduled operating assignment. The patient had been involved in a pressure accident on one of the group farms. He had lost both legs from below the knees. The Finex went to work with instruments clasped in 9 of its 13 magnetic tips.
It'll be close all the way. The Finex passed the patient. No human could save this one.
Stuart Bergman was engrossed as he watched the Finex technique. The gleam of the instruments being whipped from their cubicles in the machine storage room chest. Bergman was engrossed. So engrossed, he failed to adjust the anesthesia cone properly. The faint hiss of escaping air reached him too late. The patient suddenly sat up. The man on the operating table had seen what they had done to him, seen the faceless metal entity working over him, realized he was alone with a machine, fainted, and died.
Oh, but I can't help him. Help him. Soothe him. He's dying. He's dying because he's in shock. He doesn't want to live. Just a word would let me...
No interference, please. This is against the rules.
Murray, you've got to understand. The Finex went on operating calmly, perfectly, on a corpse. The operation was a success. Only the patient was dead. It's not human. But surely the blasted Finex knew the man was in a panic.
The brains built into those machines, they're geared. Yes, the Finex lowers the adrenaline count if you. But don't you understand, Murray? The robot ministers to the patient's body, not his mind. One word, just one, might have saved him. You see, Murray, the Finex had no bedside manner. The thing just stood there repairing tissue while the patient died, in hopelessness and terror. And lives will go on and on being lost, because the human element has been removed. I feel sick. I feel so sick. But what can we do? I'll tell you nothing. You're wrong, Murray. Wrong. They can't make a robot physician that's perfect, able to understand the psychology of the human mind. Therefore, the Finex must be discarded. Destroyed. Yes, of course. And how? I know how. It'll mean my own destruction. But now, I know how.
There are many paths to destruction. Bergman chose a strange one. Each day that passed meant another life that passed, under the knife of a perfect, fast, efficient, but non-human surgeon. There are many paths to destruction. Bergman's plan was one of desperation. He would kill one of his patients. Came the day of his operation, the morsel thrown in the way of a human surgeon once a fortnight. This was Stuart Bergman's day. He walked into the theatre. The rolling Finex, with a tabletop, upon which the patient lay, hurried to the operating table. The machine lowered its tabletop and bolted it into place. The doctor looked down at his patient, and his resolve left him. She was a thin young girl with laugh lines in her face that could never be erased, except by death. The formality taken care of, Bergman carefully made a longitudinal incision. An ordinary job. No peritonitis. Please, God, forgive me. I must sever an artery. The robot will know what I've done and will repair the damage. I will cut another. The robot will repair it, and then another. Repair, another. Again, until finally, the Finex will overload and freeze. Then I'll overturn the table. The girl will die. There'll be an inquiry in the trial. I shall blame the robot for her death. I'll tell my story at the inquiry, and they must stop using these monsters until the problem's solved. But, dear God, what good will it be to win my point if I lose my soul? And slowly, carefully, Bergman removed the appendix, and the Finex silently moved in to complete the routine operation. Bergman turned away and left the theatre. Rain, scheduled for that time of the night by WeatherX. That was my chance, but it was the wrong chance. It could never be right if it started from something like that girl's death. And as he walked aimlessly, there was a silent movement in the shadows as the robot cop followed him. They had him under observation, remember? Bergman wasn't trusted. Bergman was the kind of renegade doctor who might
I don't hate machines. I never did. Only now that they've taken away my humanity. Now that they've taken away my life. Now I hate them.
And behind him, mechanical ears tuned, robot eyes fastened on the slumping, walking man.
Here, you! You're a doctor, ain't you?
Yes. Why? What do you want?
She was dirty, ill-kempt, from the tenements, the slums, out near the curved-down edge of the climate zone.
Well, what?
I've been watching for 3 days and Charlie's getting worse and his stomach's swelling, and I noticed you've been coming out of the hospital now for 3 days. You've got to come over and see Charlie, Miss Bennett. He's dying. He just lays there twitching, and every time I go near him, he jumps across, throwing his arms about and doubling over and everything. And he keeps grinning, Doc, like everything was funny or something. Please, you've got to help him. You've got to. Please, you've got to do something. Please, please.
She's describing tetanus. She's got to get him into hospital. He'll be dead in a day if she doesn't. Oh, why didn't you take him into the hospital? Why did you wait?
Take him there. Oh, I couldn't. He never let me anyway. The last thing he said to me was, don't take me to that hospital, Katie. Promise you won't put me there with them metal things or could cut into me. Promise you won't do that. And I promise. Because I love him.
If a RoboCop sees me talking to this woman, I'll be finished anyway. They'll get me the house practicing. But tetanus, I can't take a chance. Get away. Get away from me and don't try to approach a doctor again. If the RoboCop see us, they'll arrest us both. You must never approach a doctor. There's the hospital. Go there, if you want to save your man. But the Primex are free and better than any human.
We died before we went to them. We thought you were still doctors to help people. But you're late.
I will keep pure and holy both my life and my art. In whatsoever houses I enter, I will enter to help the sick, and I will abstain from all intentional wrongdoing and harm. You, woman, wait! I'm sorry. I'm tired of talk. Take me to him. I'll be able to help him.
And they went away towards the tenement, at the edge of the climate zone, and unseen eyes followed silently. This was the slum. This was slaughter time. This was where the deprived dragged out their lives in an era of century when machine served man and man served no one, not even God. They walked, and the eyes followed relentlessly.
Come here. Follow me. There he is, Doc. There. I brought a cracker for you, Charlie. It's all right, Charlie.
I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. He's dead.
And at that moment, the machine that had followed them so far struck.
What have them seen?
And as the robot cops moved in to grapple with Bergman, the woman drew a gun from a holster at her thigh. Immediately, a death light snaked out from the robot cop's body. And the woman falls beside the bed upon which her lover lies. The machine goes about its business of arresting Bergman.
Please do not resist arrest.
But what can a mere man do against the machines he has created? And so Stuart Bergman came to the end of his career. He went on trial with the option of human fallible jury or robotic infallible jurymen. Ironically, he chose a human jury.
Deus ex machina. I'm going to give you a run for your money today.
And the trial began. The testimonies were long, hours. Finally, he was allowed to tell his story.
The years during which I studied. For what? Kolbenschlag dead. Fritz was a great human being with a soul. Beside him, a machine is nothing. The day of the operation, the man might have been saved. He died from fear at the sight of a robot and its helplessness when faced with a human problem of psychology. Calkins' approach to medicine, the very sight of things of metal, invaders in the physician's domain. The people fear and hate the machine. The woman whom I went to help in the tenement, her man died from a terrible disease because of the Finex.
And finally the jury rose, and they said they must have more time.
You won, Stu, you won! People are scared, but they're scared the right way. They're considering their position and the relation of the robot to them. The news sheets are full of it. Already there's a movement afoot for a return to human domination. You were right all along. It's just your gut, that's all. Which I haven't stopped. You haven't got... Oh, who if not you? I remember a doctor taking insult after insult from Calkins with no more than a bowed head. That was another day. They've got Calkins up to investigation. It seems there was some sort of collusion between him and the manufacturers of the Finex. That was why they were put in so quickly before they could be properly tested. The company, by the way, has testified that it's impossible to build in a bedside manner. Too nebulous a concept or something. You've won your case, Stu. There'll be a lot of me thinking now. It's your victory. Victory? Mine? Man's. I just happened to do something that brought it about, that's all. It had to happen. Otherwise, we'd have lost our souls. We've stopped ourselves from going all the way to dependence and decadence. We've reversed a terrible trend. Now, the machines will work for man, not man for the machines. Today's the most important day I can remember. Got a cigarette, Murray? Well, there's a tobacco punch over there on the wall, Stu. What brand do you want? No. Oh, no. Have you, in your pocket, Murray, an ordinary packet of cigarettes? I don't want them from the tobacco punch. Here. Thanks.
You have just been listening to Wanted in Surgery by Harlan Ellison. Wanted in Surgery was adapted for broadcasting and produced by Michael McCabe. Listen again next Friday night at 9:30 to SF-68.